Okay, part two. Um, so, Space City has been developed. This becomes a incubator for creating the seedlings for a new planet. In the timeline I create, after creating or establishing a permanent lunar base, then mankind starts focusing on Mars. Terraforming, creating space stations around the main planet, as well as lunar bases on the two moons. And um, so I kind of put that like a 75-year period between when the moon base is created and a certain event. But basically, uh, man realizes like, okay, to get to Mars takes 6 months. So massive endeavor, limited in what you can take. So it's just limited in what you can do. A new form of travel needs to be created. But in the meantime, for about 50 semi odd years, there's people living, working on Mars, terraforming it. This is generations of people going by, and as a result, they're able to have their own isolated, independent government. A mentality develops there because of how you have to approach living in space. It's a communal. You have to limit your resources. You have to be careful what you're doing. You have a place within the community. You have a purpose and a reason. Um, the it's a different mentality in terms of you can't swap people in and out, or you can't be fired from a job. Like you are almost in a way stuck there. So this different mentality, and because it's scientists who are the leaders of this community, just different mentality of how to approach life and living, and what is their goal? The goal is terraforming, to change Mars from a small lifeless planet to a larger sustainable planet that can you can build a city on the surface. Um, so that becomes important for later on down the road. So a 75-year period, and as a result, they're stuck. They realize like, okay, how do we get from Earth to Mars faster? And this allows a period of experimentation, different technologies and techniques, and eventually a new form of propulsion is found. So I call it a random particle generator, just as a simple catch-all. But essentially, what they figure out is take a device and have it create matter, and create matter in a point of space. And part of how you're able to create that matter is essentially have an emitter. So you take this the stream that's creating the matter, and you split it. And with that split, you essentially say, okay, at some point in space, we're going to have 2 points, and they're going to cross. They're going to narrow down and they'll cross at a certain place. And where that point is, that's where the matter is created. Then you split that emitter again, and you have a different emitter that aims at a different location. So you have one location close, one location farther away. That's how you're able to travel from one solar system to another solar system. That dramatically reduces space travel. So now it becomes instantaneous. The only thing that limits is the size of the hole, the aperture, or the wormhole that you're creating between 2 points in space. So with that creation, now Earth and Mars, the communication is not taking hours. The isolated government of Mars basically kind of ceases to exist, and a new government is able to form. We call it Terra, Confederation of Planets, or Terran for short, and massive expansion across the universe. This allows harvesting of materials and minerals around this universe to become a lot easier. So bringing resources from around anywhere else back to Earth can be done. But since the drive is, Project Seedling, this government project to get humanity off of Earth and settling other planets. And because it becomes a government system, bureaucracy, there's a whole mechanism just pushing to push people off the planet. Exploration is just accelerated, and people are able to, like, all the nearby stars